Today's Bible study is a continuation on wisdom, and more specifically on the two types of wisdom. I'm pulling my scripture from 1 Corinthians 3:18 through 20. Let no one deceive himself. If anyone among you thinks that he is wise in his age, let him become a fool that he may become wise. For the wisdom of this world is folly with God, for it is written, He catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the thought of the wise, that they are futile. So, for the two types of wisdom, there's an earthly wisdom and there's a heavenly wisdom. And God set a very definite distinction between the two. First, worldly wisdom is fake because God knows it to be deceitful and useless. James chapter 3, verse 15 even says that it is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic, therefore causing confusion. Humans, in general, like to be carnal and follow after the flesh. Nowadays, the world highly encourages you to follow your feelings and do whatever makes you happy. People see following your heart as wisdom, but it's a lie because in Jeremiah 17:9 it says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? Following your heart means being unspiritual, as I said previously, and following after earthly temptations. Then those temptations become sin, and the wages of sin is death in the end. And following earthly wisdom will leave you confused and empty-handed in the long run. Confusion is not of God. As said in 1 Corinthians 14:33, for God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. Since earthly wisdom leads to confusion, and confusion is not of God, it makes it a demonic spirit. That spirit of confusion can be passed on from person to person like a sickness. And one could say things, one could think that they are wise, and this world thinks that fleshly knowledge is wise. But that just causes more confusion. If one person says they are wise because of what they think and feel, someone else can follow after that and they become confused as well. Like I said, it spreads like a sickness. Their wisdom can be seen as valuable, but is just an act of deceit and an impartment of useless knowledge. Back to 1 Corinthians where it says he catches the wise in their craftiness. Those people proclaim themselves to be wise in worldly knowledge, sharing it and being crafty or deceitful, causing confusion. But the next verse says that the Lord knows their thoughts and knows that they are meaningless. So when we gain godly wisdom, we can decipher between the two different wisdoms. James 3:17 says, but the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. Godly wisdom is submitting yourself to His will and His direction, not going after your own feelings and after your own heart. God will allow those who are confused and those who think they are wise, He will allow them to fall and gain true wisdom through brokenness and being humbled. When people are taking part of godly wisdom, they are not confused and have peace through Christ. Then when it says in the next verse, and a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. And this goes back to Matthew 11:19, or it can be applied to that scripture when it says, yet wisdom is justified by her deeds. So this is kind of how to detect the type of wisdom people are practicing. If the wisdom you're practicing is deceitful, unspiritual, demonic, causing confusion and chaos, then it is the earthly wisdom. 2 Thessalonians 10:11 says, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. People living in earthly wisdom are deceived and unrighteous. But they are allowed to believe in that wisdom until they find true wisdom and gain salvation through it. Knowing the difference between the two types of wisdom is very straightforward because of how opposite they are. Earthly wisdom is the opposite of what it seems to be. People see it as following your heart and your feelings, but all it really is just confusion. The wisdom that needs to be practiced is pure, peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere, and produces a harvest of righteousness by those who make peace through godly wisdom.